It's working. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to the Rural Dad channel. I'd like to share a few things with you. Today we are going to go over how we did this faux brick wall. And yes, it is faux, it's not real. I know it looks really real. Okay, let's get right into it. Some of the things you're gonna need to get this project started are the paint colors that you obviously decide on as far as the tones that you want. You're gonna need a few paint brushes. We actually had the luxury of having one for each color, but that's maybe not necessary. You could obviously get away with maybe using a few less. You're gonna need wall compound, which is something that I don't have any more of. We used it all. Excuse me. You're gonna need a putty knife and a trowel to mix the mud in. You're gonna need quite a few rolls depending on the size of area you need of masking tape. Well, we use masking tape. You could probably use just about any tape that won't rip paint off. It was 1/2 inch is what we used. We had a few rags. Obviously, you're gonna need some sort of rag. And then a tarp here. Is there anything else that I missed? All right, so once you have all the materials that you need, the first thing you're gonna wanna note is the surface that you're using. Obviously, you can go over any regular drywall surface, preferably primed drywall surface. We went over concrete, and what we did was we actually primed the concrete. Then we used a wall compound to get rid of some of the imperfections on the concrete, which we didn't have to do that. Looking back at it, we almost wish we, okay buddy, all right. We almost wish we didn't do that. So we had a surface that looked a lot like this when we started. And another thing worth noting is we used a color that was relatively neutral to a primer, or I'm sorry, to a grout. We wanted a grout color. Okay, I get it. I gotta be grout. Again, color needs to be relatively close to a grout color. It doesn't necessarily matter what your base color is, just keep it neutral. That's the point. From there, what we did was we took the 1/2 inch tape and we measured the size of a brick. I measured one row, and then I started, I actually measured it, and then I did one more row above that, and I kind of used that as a reference point going up and down. And again, it makes it a lot easier, and it saves a lot of time. Is there anything that you want to add? Did I miss anything?
Not yet. Not so far.
Okay. All right, so once you have the tape down, once you have that all down, you've mudded over everything, you've waited just enough time for you to peel the tape off and it won't crumble, then you can kind of get into the artistic element of it, and that's actually where the artist comes in.
So after you apply the wall compound over your taped off bricks, you're going to want to work pretty quickly at this point. You want to do the full length of the wall or area that you're taping off, completely covered in this drywall. Pretty thick, I'd say about medium-ish.
Yeah, I mean,
coverage.
We lathered it on. The whole point is to give it that three-dimensional brick look, so it's almost
right.
Like there's a brick there.
And it doesn't have to be even. Because you are going to get creative with it, but you do want to work quickly because the next 2 steps, the artistic side of it, the compound needs to be pliable. After your wall compound is still wet, this is when we're going to get creative. So first thing that I did was take a spatula and softened the edges. Birdie girl. I used the spatula to kind of bring excess compound into the bricks and also into the grout line. and you're going to see in some areas of the bricks it's going to protrude more than others. That's the extra compound, and it also makes it look more realistic. I also softened edges. I kind of pick and choose areas to soften and corners.
How'd you do that?
With the spatula.
Got it.
Just to make it look more worn. To add to the wornness of it, then we went in with a brush and stippled both the brick itself and really got in there into the crevices, into the grout line and the corners to make it look real worn. You can kind of play with this as much wornness as you want and or not want. We kind of pick and choose different areas more or less because we had a very big canvas we were going off of and we had to work fast. That's very, very, very important for these steps with getting creative with your wall.
Yeah, we had about a 25-foot wall, and so that was definitely a challenge. Not that we would discourage anyone from not choosing a big wall, but you just got to work quicker.
It's a big project. You can also, I kind of did some dry brushing too over the concrete to make it look more worn. Okay, so after you've gotten done stippling and kind of creating texture on your bricks, next thing you're gonna do is paint it. We started the painting process when the bricks were still wet and kind of regretted that because it was a big project. So most of the wall was done while it was dry. So the colors that we picked are, we had like a grayish white color, tan, a more gray color, this nice rust color, and then a kind of brownish black. What's that? Oh, another tannish color.
Yeah.
We had a lot of colors, but it does help to kind of build character and color. As you can see, you know, we really were random with it, really wanted it really looking aged, and also we went a lot with the gray tones in there kind of to match the aesthetic of our house. And that's all up to you as far as the paint colors that you want, but these are pretty basic colors that you're gonna need. You're gonna need that rust, a darker color, and then something close to your grout too. Mix it all in, make sure that it blends pretty nicely. So there's no real right way to do this. I kind of did it where I started with areas of the darker colors, the rust color, and that darker blackish color, and mixed in the lighter colors and blended a little bit, went over most of it with this grayish tone, getting a lot of the area inside of the grout line so that it mixed and meshed and made it look really weathered. Again, that's all preference. The best way that I found to do this is to add a little bit of paint into each cup. He said earlier that it's probably not necessary for you to have a brush for each color. I found it the easiest to have a brush for each color so that even when I was kind of mixing, I had my one cup that I kind of used for mixing one of the medium tones, like the yellowish tone. I actually did all of my blending was done on the brick. So I would go in, I do small patches of the wall at a time, where I did just touches of red and black and beige, and then I kind of went in with a second color and blended that area. I chose to do kind of a watered down paint too. If you wanted something more vibrant, you don't have to water your paints down, but I chose to just because I really did want a more old looking wall.
Yeah, the goal really here was, again, to make it look like it was here for hundreds of years, as opposed to, you know, something that a bricklayer in recent history has laid.
As you get in closer, you can see some of the minor imperfections that it has, but it's your project, make it your own. And at the end of the day, I can't tell you how many compliments we've got on this. If you can do it better than we can,
And
let us know.
And again, this is, yeah, please share with us your projects. But again, it started off much like this wall here, and it finished off much like this here. Let me back up. You're gonna see some of the stuff that we got here. As she said, when you get further back, a lot of those imperfections disappear, and it just looks like a really cool brick wall.
Well, thanks guys for tuning into our DIY faux brick wall. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
If you enjoyed this video, please comment, let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, and hit that subscribe button because we always appreciate that support. Bye!